Well, you thought this deck couldn't possibly get more broken, but now I found a way to make it Synchro summon. First off, I'm playing 3 Ponyx. This is my own personal build that I've been playtesting for a while, and now I moved and found a way to make it Synchro summon, and I found that it's quite beneficial because this deck's weakness was able to not make an Omni Negate, so it would lose to cards like Soul Release, but now it can. I'll show you how. By playing 3 Kyurem, 2 Garunix, 1 Rank Bui, 1 Arvata, and 1 Barong. I'm just playing one of each because, as you can see now, the way to Synchro summon is to play the Vanadium Torrid, and he's of extra fire, so I didn't find the need to play 2 or 3 Arvata, and I cut 1 from my previous deck build that you can see down in the description. I left a link in case you don't want to Synchro summon. I got a more generic Fire King build down in the comments, down in the description. But yeah, he is a level 2 tuner that when he's destroyed, it special summons another copy from the deck, and that's perfect. Hence why I reduced the number of Fire Kings, because I technically bumped up the fire count by 2 more. Even if I cut 1 Fire King down, they are better to grab, because you know a Garunix only summons when a fire is destroyed, so you don't need the Fire Kings, just need any fire. And speaking of more fires, I'm playing 3 Ash. Not only it's a fire, it's really good this format. Something that's also really good this format is draw. So I'm mining 3 draw. Even though my opponent does not lose to draw instantly, most decks are still held by draw. In worst case scenario, which actually came up, I can normal summon draw and link draw into Salamandrite Almirage for a fire and start my combos. And next step, this is why I cannot afford bonfires, because I already got the original Synchro Sport stuff a long time ago with the 1 Witch, 1 Flamberge, and 1 Ash. I used to play 2 Witch, but I cut down for more the Druids. And with those 2, the accompanying Wanteds with the Synchro Spoils. And as self-explanatory, this engine, the Meadow, may break your wallet, it's also gonna break the game. So I say it's worth it, unless they make Populous a secret. If Populous is a secret, my god. And then 3 Prosperities, just for more draw power. Some people I've seen play, they would decide to play 3 Hand Traps instead of 3 Prosp. It does conflict with the wanted draw, but it's fine because you can keep the wanted draw for next turn as follow up if you Prosp. My reasoning is that if you play stuff like Tenki cannot get you into Sinful Spells, but Prosp can. Also, Prosp can also get into other key cards, such as evenly match both sides, or you know, all the cards you want. Maybe even an Ash at the end of your board to drink for a Hand Trap. And next up I'm playing 2 Island. I found that 1 in the grind game, it's really hurtful, but 2 is fine. One cool play that I did one time was I literally put Island over Island to make the Island in the field and pop my own cards. And that let me combo off because my island got ashed, so I just put another island over the island and that destroyed my monster on the field. That let me combo off. So even though 2 island may seem bad, it's actually good, especially in grind. And with the company 2 island, I'm playing 2 Sanctuary. I used to play 3 but got 1 for Druid. Again, really good. Sanctuary with Druid is really nice, gives you a way to pop it, same for Island, special Garunix, all that. I also playing 1 Skyburn for that follow-up search on Ponix, and to help me black boards or do some stuff on the crackback in round 2. Well, yeah, and then just one circle. I've seen people play 2 Skyburn or just 1 Skyburn with no circle. I found that to be not that optimal. I feel like circle should still be played, since it allows you to OTK so easily, your opponent can never see it coming. Also, it allows you to dodge hand traps like Impermanent Failure, which is why I'm not playing when I'm not playing Valor, because in my opinion, Valor is kind of useless this format, as there's so many decks that can easily dodge it. And one call buy for those annoying hand traps. This deck does lose to Shifter and does kind of lose to draw depending on your hand. So call buy is kind of mandatory if you ask me. It's really good. And then to close it off, I'm playing 3 Imperm. The better Valor in my opinion, since you can use it in your turn and anytime you like, not just in the end phase. The only problem I'm finding is that if you play Selene to get into access code or link line me to Napalooza maybe or something, not having a Valor does kind of hurt, because that's a spellcaster. That's one spellcaster you're less likely to see now to go into Selene. But that's fine, I don't find out. I'm not even playing Selene in this build, so that's alright. For the extra deck, I'm playing one Baron. This deck can easily make level 10s, also sometimes even level 6s, but there isn't really a broken level 6 in this deck, and that's really worth going for. So just playing with the one Baron, and this should be I know it's a fusion, but it should be the level 10 Synchro, the Sorcerer one, Chengning, I believe. I borrowed mine and now I had to give it back, and I can't be asked going to buy one. Well, I did buy one, but it's on its way, so kind of waiting on that, but it was borrowed. So I'm just using this as a proxy for now for this deck profile. It came up first to go for Baron. Okay, also keep in mind you can special summon the Druid at any point. I believe it's either Arvata or Kyurem that just needs to special a fire, any fire. But yeah, on the first turn you make Baron, and on the follow-up if your board breaks broken or in the grind game, you make Changing, because you're gonna have some cards banished probably. Also, if your opponent banishes some cards and all that, you're gonna be fine, and you can go Changing and go for game. But Baron is the main play to go. Protects you from sword release mainly, and you can even make it under 5 summons for Nibiru. Next up, one for deck C's, 1 Titan and 1 Entity. Entity is really good, allows you to have the OTK with Circle and clears the board if you have Sanctuary up, if your opponent leaves Sanctuary, or you don't get rid of it doing your Snake Eyes combo. Entity is a really good playline. Now I can just Rageki the field basically, or Torrential. But it's fine because your stuff get triggered when destroyed, so that's alright. Also, this is a new U.R.A edition Typhon. I didn't used to have much respect for this guy, but after I saw how easily he can basically nullify really big boards, like big scary boards, something like Dragon Link would do, or Manadium, with a bunch of Nomini negates and regular negates and destructions and whatnot. Just one card, bam, put it there, put Titan on it, basically gets rid of the threats such as Baron or Zeus. Well, your opponent wouldn't really make Zeus, But you know, stuff like Barrow, Napo, and whatnot. Moving on to the links, I'm playing one Underworld Goddess. A really good way, because this deck just destroys. So if and kind of some of them do target, some of them Kirin doesn't. But again, if a card is protected by destruction, that is problematic. That's why I'm playing Goddess in the side deck to get rid of cards that cannot be destroyed. And then one Apo, that's self-explanatory, is in the main combo line. You're gonna end on an Apo and follow up engrave. One access code to close up games. One Unicorn to, again, another way to bounce cards that cannot be destroyed. One SP, yet another way to bounce cards that cannot be destroyed and dodge stuff and bounces. One AP is part of the combo. Same for Sandalwood, is part of the combo. Speaking of, if you guys want to see some combos with this deck, I would gladly do them, so let me know down in the comments. Next up, one Dark to steal an opponent's fire. You would think, Casus, how do you get into a Dark? Well, it's quite easy, because I mean, accept the Hita, playing one Anima, so it's basically a level 1, you turned it into a Dark, and opponents don't tend to respect the zones in this build, since they are just used with everyone playing Link Rebo for the grind. But here's where you can get them with an Anima. Happened a few times. Insane value. I will just link away a Ponix into Anima, steal a monster, and then link that and another card, link Anima another card into Dark, and you know, so on from there. Those two make Unicorn, bounce a card, and that's the board breaking basically. And then one Almirage. Like I said, really good. It's a Dark, it's a fire, and is mainly here to turn Droll into a fire. In worst case scenario, I have bad hand. Came up, basically won me a game that was unwinnable with the hand I had. And yeah, that was it for the extra. Now for the side, it does depend on your local format, or if you go to a regional, yeah, you should build to play against meta, and this is the right thing I got for you. With 2 Ghost Bells, this is basically a 4th and 5th Ash against decks like Labyrinth and so on. Maybe sometimes even if your opponent wants to banish a card you got in your grave, you go no. And then I'm playing one Scatter Shot with one Kirin. Shouts out to Mark and Robin for coming out with this deck. With this deck, it was insane, and it did win me a game or 2 in time. And it's pretty funny when it happens. Not so funny for the opponent, but it's quite funny for you when you manage to pull it off in time. And then I'm playing one Trust, and since it's one Trust, I'm playing Trust targets such as Dark Runner No More, Triple Attack, Harpy's Fed, and Harpy's Feather Duster. Really powerful one-offs. Trust is an amazing card. I feel like this format, Trust and Talents are great. Mainly because Trust too as well. If you play against Fire King, their cards are always going to trigger into standby. Barong is a mandatory effect, trigger in the standby, same for Ponix. So you're going to have Trust life basically every time when you go against Fire King. Hence why I'm playing it. Also why I'm playing it. Also Labyrinth trigger Trust, and that's amazing. 3 Sorreless. Amazing card this format. Absolutely stops the grind game of Lab and Fire King, and I feel like that's worth enough to have 3 slots in the side deck. Next up, I'm playing 3 evenly matched. I forgot the back row removal, the traditional back row removal, and I kind of tempted to go with a mid way of back row removal. Personally, I do love using evenly matched to remove back row, and I feel like that's pretty funny. Let me know if you also use Trust for back row, evenly for back row removal. but mainly also because there are decks like again like Lab and Fire King and Rescue Ace that absolutely lose to evenly matched. And fun enough, I do, since I play one Dark World No More, there's the small chance to draw that godly combo with the Dark World No More evenly for basically every deck to make it cry. And for the last card in the side, there's one D-Barrier. D-Barrier is pretty good this format. Vanadium does focus on Synchros. There's Chimera that focuses on fusions. It doesn't really hurt Fire King, Lab, or Rescue Ace really. Hence why I cut it down from, I usually play 3 Dimension Bearer, but now I moved to just one. Mainly just really nice trust target when going first, besides triple attacks. And that's mainly it really. If you like it, please leave a like, and why not subscribe, because I'm about to hit 500 subs, and if you made it this far, you either like my content or my amazing voice, so why not stay for longer and see what other decks I come up with. Casus signing out.